Friday Sin here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Kimaris. So this is another Gundam from the IBO line, and it hasn't really been shown in the show. So whether it's truly anime accurate is hard to tell. We've only gotten a glimpse of it so far as episode 16. So as far as the build quality goes, the entire inner frame of the suit builds exactly like the Barbados. A lot of the parts aren't exactly the same, but are close. So as far as the inner frame from the arms and legs and torso, that's all exactly the same. But when you get to the shoulders, because its shoulder pads can't be switched out like the Barbados, they are slightly different to work with the shoulder pads it does have. Other than that, the inner frame's exactly the same, and all the difference is in the armor pieces. As far as coloring goes, I assume it's anime accurate. Again, we only caught a glimpse of it, but it does match up with the colors that are on its guide. As far as stickering goes, it seems to be 100% accurate when you put on the stickers. So they give you black for the leg thrusters, front and back down here. You have the purple on the skirt up here, and you have front and back, both arms, this greenish blue color there. And then, of course, your standard cameras on the head stickers and all that. There's nothing spectacular about this build, really, since we've already seen it with the Barbados. It doesn't do anything more than heavily armor it. So as far as that goes, we'll go ahead and get in the articulation here. So let's start on the legs. So going down to the feet, the front part of the feet rotate much like the Barbados, but the back part doesn't, so it's a single rotation there. The front part also flips down, so we have that pointed toe flowing look. The legs build exactly the same, but with the armor there, you don't get that full bend back, but you do get close. You get a little bit past 90 degrees. Hip skirts are very standard in that, and of course, yeah, everything on these legs, even though it's a bit of different build, is universal standard, so pegged into the pelvis and that. Good side kick out. The torso rotation, you have that same ab crunch that you have in the Barbados, and so far, other than, I imagine, the large suits, the one that you find in everything in this line. Arms, a little past 90 degrees, ball joint, so nice movement up, down, around. So then for the shoulders, so we'll lower his big giant lance here. So for his shoulders, this outer part lifts up just a little bit, and they're on swivels so they can go up quite far and back down. And his hand fell off. And then forward, backward, all the way around. The shoulders are attached, so anytime you move from forward or backwards, you do get that big thing coming along with him. Head, universal ball joint, wiggle around, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Nothing spectacular about the backpack. Just has these two thrusters here. There's no real articulation to it there. It's just a backpack. One of the other gimmicks is these parts up here lift up. So these shoot a kind of bladed disc weapon, and it's hard to see in there, but that is hollow, and you do get a bladed disc weapon for each shoulder to put inside of there. And you can take them out, but it's a bit of a pain, but they do fit in there nice and tight, and it's a nice little thing, if you're into that. So that's all for the articulation. So now getting into the gimmicks, we have, of course, the one I just showed you. And then we have down here on the legs. These legs split open, just like that. So you have these tags here that lock into there, and it locks in fairly well. You're not going to get these really as long as those are locked into place, you're not going to get these coming apart that much. So you get a nice look up there. And then there you have two thrusters that are both on swivel joints. So you can move those around. And then that happens to both legs for a flying pose. The sword he has here small one, stores on the back skirt here fairly well. And it also is just a two-piece weapon that unfolds on a swivel. Makes that sawtooth there. So there's a small little gimmick on his lance that fell off. So you'll notice his whole hand didn't fall off, just the back of the hand. And that's because it's attached to the lance. So of course you can put this lance in standard into anyone else's hands, have it slide up and down. But if you want locked into that halfway point there, there's a little tag there that fits into the hand, into that slot there. And so that holds into place fairly well, and this is light enough that it doesn't weigh him down. The construction's good. These big purple parts are plastic. There's gun barrels down the... If I can get this in front of the camera, if you can see the gun barrels down the lance there on the side. So it all works pretty great. So there's nothing about this model to really blow up your skirt. When it is debuted, maybe it'll be incredibly badass, and maybe the model will be a little disappointing compared to it, but as far as this model, it's a great build. It looks great. Coloring on it's great. Whether it's accurate or not, we don't know yet. But it is a nice looking suit, and it is intimidating, and I think a nice fit as an antagonist to the Barbados with the beefier armor look to this guy. I hope my review helped you guys. If you're interested in the suit, it definitely is worth a buy. So I hope you guys have a great one and keep enjoying building.